Before this coming, let me say a couple of things. I take very seriously the work of the Board of Examiners. One of the things the Board of Examiners, and in fact the bishop, has to do is to protect the church. And so we must be very careful in the folk to whom we present to the annual conference for ordination. And let me say what I have said to every class which has come before me as a bishop of the Board of Examiners. Ordination is not a right. You do not have a right to be ordained. Ordination is the gift of the church. And the church must be very careful to whom it gives this gift. The ministry of the church is critically important, especially those who go forth to the pastor. My brothers and sisters, if the head of the body is not well, the body will not be well.
Yes.
We must be extremely careful. And so I make it a particular point when those in the institute come, that I do my best to make sure that those whom we recommend are apt for the office for which they seek to serve the church. And I hope the students will take it very seriously. I hope the board will take it very seriously. The law and the discipline as it relates to academic preparation, I wrote it. But while I wrote it, I understand that the board examines candidates not only in terms of academics and intellect, but also preparation of heart.
Yes.
You can be as theologically deep as all get out, but if your heart's not right, you do great damage to the church.
Yes.
Don't let your character take you where your reputation can't keep you. So I want you to understand I take this very, very seriously. All right? Now, admissions and first year may not get it, and third year may not get as much scrutiny as second and fourth year. All right? All right, I'm ready to go.
Bishop Jackson, Virginia Annual Conference.
Can't hear you.
Bishop Jackson. At the Virginia Annual Conference, we stand to present the Board of Executive Report for 2025. Reverend Matthew Shannon, the Secretary, will read our report.
Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners presents the following candidate in the class of admissions: Pierre Diaz. Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidate be advanced to the first year class of studies: Pierre Diaz.
All right. Brother Diaz, how are you feeling? Tell me why you feel you are called to ministry. anybody in here who does not have a desire and passion to serve? If so, please raise your hand. Do you think passion and desire is sufficient to go into the ministry? Okay. What do you do in your church? And I see you at the Proctor School of Theology at Virginia Union. They have a program where if you do not have your bachelor's degree, if you go through that program, you get your bachelor's and master's at the same time. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
How are you doing in your studies?
I'm doing well, sir.
Who's your pastor?
My pastor is Tony Debo.
Have you had enough?
I haven't had enough.
Let me say this: if the board's recommendation is approved, you will be admitted on trial. Do you understand what it means to be admitted on trial?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me explain what it is. Ministry in the African Methodist Episcopal Church is not easy. It's difficult. And one of the things, sometimes you will ask yourself, is this enough? When you are admitted on trial, it means you had 2 years to look over us. Check out the AME Church. After those 2 years, you might decide, this is not for me. That's why you're admitted on trial. But it also gives us 2 years to look at you. And we may decide we don't think you will be effective in terms of ministry in this church. So we give both of us 2 years. And so I'm hoping the conference will approve you being admitted on trial, and you will take these 2 years to do your best to prepare yourself, but also that you will look at us and we'll look at you. All right?
Yes, sir.
What is the recommendation of the board?
The board recommends that Pierre Diaz be advanced to the first year class of studies.
On trial.
On trial.
All right. Heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor will say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. God bless you, my brother. We look forward to working with you. You can bring yourself in. God bless you. All right. Next.
Move to the first year class of studies had no candidates. We move to the third year. But
Let me also say this too, since we're moving to the third year. My brothers and sisters, when I first saw this report from this Board of Examiners, alarm bells went off. Because this is not the only conference I've seen it. When I served in the 6th district, several of the conferences we saw the same thing. When you look at the class on admissions, alarm bells ought to sound. That means we have nobody coming up. We have one person. First year, we don't have anybody. That's a problem. We already have a personnel shortage in this church. We don't have the people for the churches that we have coming open. This conference alone, you have more people who are retiring than you have being admitted. That's a problem. so we really do need to be in prayer as we go about the work of the church. So I hope we will give some serious consideration today. In this district, this year I'm kind of fortunate. The next year, or this year coming, will be a very difficult year for me as I superintend the work of the church. You have one presiding elder in this conference who will retire next year. We have two in the Washington conference who will retire next year. You just can't make anybody a presiding elder.
That's right.
You have some pastoral retirements of some strong churches. You just can't send anybody to a church. For the next 3 years will be a challenging time. You know, and when I was the bishop in Georgia, they had a saying which sounded good but was really ridiculous. Notice what they're saying. Georgia is the Georgians. That's what they're saying. The problem was Georgia did not have the personnel for some of those churches. I reminded them this is a connectional church. So if I don't have anybody in the second, I'm going to go where I got to go to find the best person to fill those spots. And sometimes, you know, I said to the people in Georgia, and I say to you, there are very two problematic committees in the A&E Church. Two very problematic committees. The Sidewalk Committee and the Parking Lot Committee. We should have got somebody in the 2nd District to go there. Well, it might be the 2nd District didn't have the person or the people to go to these churches. And then when the churches begin to decline, here you come, he should have sent somebody else there. So I just want you to understand what I'm going to be up against. And I just want you to understand I'm going to do what I believe is best for the church. I just want you to understand that clearly. Sister Mars has been a phenomenal elder in this conference. So I'm not just going to appoint anybody to be the elder. All right? All right, let's have the 3rd year class.
Conference Board of Examiners presents the following candidates of the 3rd year class of studies: Reverend Melvin Blackwell, Reverend Tiffany Lee Jefferson, Reverend Tricia Muriel, Reverend Elvin Price, Reverend Andrea Smith Price, and Reverend Keisha Wilson.
All right, Brother Blackwell, how you feeling? All right. You come out of Emmanuel A&E Church, Portsmouth, Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Who's your pastor?
Reverend Colvin.
Reverend Colvin, will you please stand?
Right here, Bishop.
How you feeling?
Right there.
Tell me about Reverend Blackwell.
Thank you, Bishop. Reverend Blackwell is very engaged in Emmanuel. He is leading our street ministry, our discipleship ministry. He's mentoring the men about food ministry. He is eager to serve. He has the energy to serve locally, and we're proud to have him.
Reverend Blackwell, you got ordained a deacon last year?
No, sir.
When did you get ordained a deacon?
Ordained in 2005.
You've been a deacon 20 years?
19 years, Bishop.
You want to be an elder? I'm not itinerant elder.
I would love to be one, but no, that's not my desire, Bishop. I want to work locally.
You're a local?
No, sir. I'm an itinerant deacon at this particular time.
So if you want to stop at an itinerant deacon, why are you pursuing the itinerant elder?
I'm not pursuing the itinerant eldership, sir. I'm pursuing a local deacon at Emmanuel AME Church. Yes, sir.
You want to attract change.
Yes, sir. That's what I do.
You want to be a local elder for Emmanuel Church in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Local deacon, sir. Because I am an itinerant deacon at this particular time. Would that be okay?
You see if you don't talk.
Yes, sir.
If you leave Emmanuel Church in Portsmouth and go to Mount Olive Church in Chesapeake, are you still a local deacon?
No, sir, I'm not. Yes, sir.
Tiffany Lee Jefferson,
Yes, sir.
how you feeling?
I'm doing great. Bishop.
Who's your pastor?
My pastor is Andre Jefferson Jr.
Is that your husband?
Yes, sir.
Andre Jefferson Sr. is your father-in-law?
Yes, sir.
I see. Jefferson Jr.? Pick up the baby. All right. How old is the baby?
He's
Two. They got crazy commercials on about a 2-year-old baby on that. What is it? Liberty Insurance.
That's his favorite commercial. That's his favorite commercial. He always sings with the end of liberty, liberty, liberty. That's his favorite part.
You know, the reason I say it's crazy because when you look at that baby, the part you can see, that's a big 2-year-old.
Yeah. He's a big two. He's a big two.
You let me know if you're a husband and y'all's 2-year-old get to carry on a conversation like that. Let me know. All right. You know what it is to be itinerant?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you get your, matter of fact, you are itinerant deacon now, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose on Friday night, you know, bishops do some crazy stuff. They really do.
Yeah.
You know, you pray for us.
Yes.
Suppose he got transferred to North Carolina. And the bishop was crazy enough to leave you in Virginia. What would you say?
I would say to the Lord, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
might say a little more than that. All right. Now you have your master's degree or MDiv already?
Yes, sir.
When did you get your MDiv?
In 2019.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Trisha and Muriel, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Bishop, thank you.
You are at Centerville Church. Who's your pastor?
My pastor is Reverend Tony D. Boone. I am the pastor at Centerville Chapel.
How long you been pastor?
Year and a half, sir.
How you like it?
I love it, I enjoy it.
You know, people can try all they can to tell you about the pastor, but you really don't know till you start going. Amen. Ain't nothing like it. That's right. Ain't nothing like the black church. You know, I already made out my range, so when the Lord called me, and when I was making that, I said, the one thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to put a soul on the program. We're going to tell the untruth about me. There's a lot of untruth about preachers, especially at their homegoing service. You know what they said? He always had a smile on his face. Ask Reverend Sidney, name me one black preacher always smiling. Not passing the black church, you know. I see. All right. How are you making out in terms of administration of the church?
It's going well. It's going very well. And I'm also training up other leaders as well to take over some of the things.
Very good, very good, very good. Now, your pastor in Centerville, who is the pastor at your home church?
The pastor at my home church is Reverend Tony D. Boone, St. Mark Union Church, Virginia Beach.
I don't know why you left that church.
I was called to leave to go see that.
Good call.
Yes, sir.
Who called you? All right. All right. My brother, how you doing?
Doing well, Bishop.
Who's the pastor at your church? Oh, you're pastoring at Beulah?
Yes, sir. Beulah A&E Farmville.
How long you been there?
3 years.
You know, I hate to say this, but I have one thing against you already.
The MEAC.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it, but it's deeper. You a graduate of FAMU?
Yes, sir.
I tried my best to get my daughter to go to Delaware State. She was determined to go to FAMU. All the money I put into FAMU. You graduated FAMU?
Yes, sir.
We need to pray. Oh, you went to a school named after snakes. Rattlers.
Excellent institution, and it was 20 miles from home.
You were homesick?
At that time, I never thought I would leave Florida. I just loved it.
You still love it?
Yes, but I love Virginia.
Either way, you got Youngkin in Virginia, DeSantis in Florida. how's your first year at Beulah been?
So this is year 3 for me. So I just finished my 3rd year at Beulah. Beulah's been a wonderful experience. They're teaching me how to be a pastor.
You love the folk.
Yes, sir.
This is Andrea.
She's excellent.
This is Keisha. Keisha, what's happening? Oh, gosh.
Is it a react to?
No. Like, I don't know what it is. What is interdisciplinary studies?
Interdisciplinary studies is a myriad of programs that you can conference together for your degree. And so since I am a licensed funeral director, it is
Well, that was the second thing. Why do you want to be a funeral director?
I want to be a funeral director since I was a child.
One thing, you ain't got to worry about going out of business. Let's see.
What we do with class?
Andre Jefferson Sr. is your pastor. Were you there the Sunday I preached?
Yes,
You were.
in the choir.
You in Ohio?
I was in the choir.
Are you in, oh, you St. Kel? I would say about you, you'll be the last one to put them down. You enrolled at Payne Seminary?
Yes, sir.
You know, he really named Payne, right? When I became the bishop of the 2nd district, one of the first things I found out that the 2nd district has to get Payne Seminary every year $100,000. But that's a pain. But I'm glad you will benefit from it. Let me ask all of you also, how's your prayer life? You know, the reality is, you can really determine how effective we're going to be in ministry by their prayer life. And I'm very worried about it. Because if we're really honest, we don't have time to pray. You got a family?
Yes, sir. I have a 10-year-old. I'm also as the conference musician.
You got a family? No, and I really do want to emphasize the importance of prayer. And the fact that most of us have a very poor prayer life. I guarantee you, if we were honest, most of us in here today have not yet prayed. We're busy. We don't have time to pray. But the fact of the matter is you have to make time. We make time for what's important for us. And so prayer is important. We will make time to pray. And every minister has to pray because prayer is asking God for divine intervention.
Yes.
And you're going to need the Lord's help. One of the most dangerous things about the church today is because we have become extremely arrogant. We have become so arrogant that we believe we can do the Lord's work without the Lord's help. How many of us preach and haven't talked to God? prepare our sermon more to get a reaction from the congregation than we do to feed them. It's hard for us to understand that ministry is not about us. It's about Him. So how are we going to do His work and not ask Him to help us? Too many of our folk get too many Saturday night specials. Sermon preparation, you have to make time. As you try to go forward, I hope you will consider that as you go into this last year with the hope of next year, getting your elder's ordination. I pray so. All right, what's the recommendation?
Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidates be retained in the third-year class of studies pending the completion of educational requirements: Elvin Price, Andrea Smith Price, Tricia Muriel.
All right, you heard the recommendation of the board. What's the pleasure of the conference? So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. So I wish you all God's best as you go forward.
No, we're not done yet, Bishop.
Done?
Not done. We got some more recommendations for the third-year class.
I'll slide down. Electric slide. Go
The
ahead.
Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidates be advanced to the fourth-year class of studies: Tiffany Lee Jefferson and Keisha Wilson.
All right. All right. I feel y'all already. What's your recommendation for them?
That they be advanced to the fourth-year class of studies.
Recommendation for them is?
The recommendation for them is to be retained in the third-year class of studies pending the completion of educational requirements.
All right. And I do understand completing academic preparation. And you all seem to be doing very well. So keep on doing what you're doing. All right. And I'm just, happy to see we got some younger blood coming through. And I say this with humor, but also with sincerity. When I went to the New Jersey conference at seminary, I was the youngest pastor in the conference. And I thought I had it going on. I had a fro. I was slim. And everybody was inviting me to preach because I was the new young preacher in the conference. Now, some mornings I wake up, I look in the mirror. The fro is gone.
Drill is gone.
No longer slim. And you used to say, Lord, what happened?
Everything gone.
First time I did that, the Lord put a song in my mind. You know what he said? Time is filled with scripture. Enjoy this now. It won't be long. I woke up one morning, saw some gray in my hair, and I prayed, Lord, don't let my hair turn gray. Lord, answer my prayer. What you asked for, you might get it. You all, I wish you all the best as y'all move to the fourth-year class. And hopefully next year I'll have the opportunity to ordain you as elders. All right? The recommendation is you can retain third year, seeking academic preparation, you will go to the fourth-year class. So I wish you all the best. All right?
Bishop, we have one more recommendation. I so move.
All right. You heard the motion, are ready for the question? All in in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. God bless. All right.
All right, Bishop, we have one more resolution. The Virginia Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidates' status be changed from an itinerant deacon to a local deacon from Emmanuel Portsmouth and be removed from the role of the third-year class of studies, that is Melvin Blackwell.
Likely you want to change from itinerant to local. All right. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Now, what class is this year in?
Third.
Third year. All right. Brother, continue on the next year with the approval of your church and pastor. We look forward to ordaining you a local
Bishop.
You're an itinerant deacon now, right? Your status will be changed to local deacon. And next year, pastor will recommend you, will ordain you as a local elder. All right? God bless you. All right, next. Here's how you feel. All right. You remember Greater St. Andrew Lutheran Church?
Yes, sir.
All right, is Reverend Smith here? Timothy Smith?
Yes, sir.
Come on down, Brother Smith. Sounds like this. Tell me something about Sister Yates.
Sister Yates, Bishop, she's very dedicated, committed, very smart. You can hear me? Okay.
I get it.
You can hear me. Sister Yates, very dedicated, committed, dutiful. She has, the Lord has called her. She has no influence from her father. She took the call on herself. And if I would influence her, I would question. But I would not push her through what I went through. But she made the choice because God called her. And if God called her, and if God sent her, that's all I can do is stand behind her.
Yates, I say you come see me be ordained an itinerant deacon. If the annual conference approves this recommendation, tomorrow night for the first time, you'll be asked a question. I have, since being a bishop, I've never asked this question the way it's written in the discipline. And I would urge you, you have a discipline, or you got a discipline, as my grandmother used to call it. I will go through that tonight and look at the questions that you will be asked at the ordination service. One of them that asked this question: will you reverently obey those to whom the charge over you is given? And it says, will you go with a glad mind? In 1977, Bishop Hildebrand was getting ready to ordain us and asked us these questions. I got to meet. And those who know me well know that I basically modeled my ministry after Bishop Hildebrand. Love Bishop Hildebrand. Bishop Hildebrand asked this question: will you go with a glad mind? For those who have charge over you and all that. And I really try to be honest. And I said, Bishop, I cannot guarantee you that I'm going to go gladly. But I do promise you I'll go. I never asked the ordinary if you will go gladly. You have no idea whether you're going to go gladly because you have no idea where you may go. When I got out of seminary, I had absolutely no enemy sense. I was ignorant. And I said to Bishop Hildebrand, I'm from Dover, Delaware, which is rural. I was a country boy. And I didn't ask him. It didn't occur to me until later on that I didn't ask him. But I said, now Bishop, when I graduate from seminary, don't send me to New York. That's what I said. He sent me to Jersey City, New Jersey. It was right next door to New York. I said, Bishop, I told you not to send me. He said, I did. But I got you as close as I could. And I want you to tonight, you need to give serious thought to what it means to be an itinerant minister in this church. There was a minister in a Delaware conference who asked me a question. In fact, he didn't ask me a question, he said something to me that I resented. I absolutely resented. But today I love him for it. This is what he said to me. He said, young man, if it's something else you can do, go do it. And I was angry because I thought he was saying to me, you're not cut out for this. What he was really saying to me was, do you really feel God has called you to this? Because if it's something else you want to do more than this, you need to go do that. I love Walter Wayne Clark for that today. I got out of seminary. First church they sent me to, I told them this in the Washington Conference last week. I graduated from seminary with my master's degree. I had a graduate degree. I was something. And that church they sent me to in Jersey City, before I got there, the previous pastor called and said, man, I got it up to $75. I thought he meant he got a $75 increase. I got through that Sunday, they brought me $75 in cash. That was it. First Sunday in August, I invited my best friend to come preach for me. Bishop Frederick Allen Wright. I had Fred come preach for me, and he took up a love offering. That's what I said to him, y'all, let's collect a lot. My pastor Stewart, Sister Baylor Holland, she tipped around to the side of the pulpit with her little finger in the air. Whatever that little finger means, there is. And she said to me, she said, Pastor, we don't take up a love offering here. I said, what do you do? We give you a salary. Oh, no. My predecessor had another job. So now the guest preacher, they gave him his salary. I had no other job. insult to injury, when they took up the love offering, it was $125. Which one do you think I gave you? Honestly, I did give them $125. But they took everything in my power to do it. Everything. And some saying we need to give real thought to this tonight. Preacher told me when I got ordained, said, Reggie, understand, an itinerant preacher has no abiding city. Because if you claim Mount Zion Dover as your home church, when you get ordained in itinerant ministry, you don't have a home church. You belong to the conference. You agree to trust the bishop with your future. I hope you contemplate that tonight. Because if you get ordained an itinerant deacon, let me assure you it will change your life. You will come to annual conference, wondering if you stand where you are, or whether you're going someplace else. I want you to pray over that tonight. Whatever you do, trust God. Amen. What is the recommendation of the board?
The board recommends, the Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidate be elected and ordained itinerant deacon and be advanced to the third year class of studies, Veronica Smith Yates.
Is your daughter? Where is that? And I want to give you the honor of making the motion to have your daughter ordained.
Yes, sir, Bishop. I make the motion that Veronica Yates be voted on to be itinerant deacon.
Second.
Moved and second that Veronica Smith Yates be elected and ordained itinerant deacon for the African Methodist Episcopal Church. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor will say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, the motion is carried. This is the God bless you. We see all of this. Thank you.
Reverend Michael Gray, Reverend Christina Hayward, Reverend Robin Hopkins, Reverend Dina Herbert, Reverend Marie Murphy, Reverend Kimberly Turner Neal.
Margaret Hahn degree. How do you feel today? How have your studies for ministry been going? When I say you studied, I don't necessarily mean just seminary. Do you spend much time reading?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to be a good minister if you don't read. Reverend Sanders is your pastor?
Yes, he is.
Did you hear him sing today?
Yes, I did. I do every Sunday.
You sing every Sunday?
Almost every Sunday.
Reverend Michael Gray, how are you feeling?
This is wonderful.
You're passing Bethel Church in Eastville, Virginia?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
5 years.
How's the work going?
Wonderful, good work. Excellent work.
You're studying in Norfolk State?
I'm a graduate from Norfolk State Business Administration.
Graduate in Norfolk State?
Business finance.
I don't have nothing against you. If we last, they'll stay in Norfolk.
I know. Yeah. Absolutely.
You ain't even won the whole year.
Yes. How do I know?
I got a new coach who I like a whole lot. How long you been at Bethel?
At Leesville, this makes my fifth complete year, 5 months.
Did the Lord give you a vision for that church?
Yes, sir.
Folk responsible?
One of the members committed and made great sacrifices to keep the church still was in the ministry.
Come back to you. Christina Haywood?
She's excused, she's not here. Yes.
Reverend Robin Hopkins. How you doing today?
I'm great, sir.
You're pastor of Meadowview Church of Martinsville, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
How's the work going?
Wonderful.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
How long have you been at Regent?
I will graduate next week.
How long ago did you get ordained deacon?
In 2002. You're talking about local, because that's how I came in as a local. Changed. Track years later.
Interesting. You have any young folk in that congregation?
It'll be 20, 30, 40 right now, yes.
No, I will, tomorrow probably, I'm gonna say a word about this issue of church growth. But I say that because, again, one of the challenges facing us, the average age of our congregation is 67. The average age of a black in the United States today is 31. Most of our congregations, we have very few, if any, people 31 and under. How many years have you been there?
3.
Deanna Herbert, how you feel?
Bishop, I feel great. And it's Dina.
So you're serving a mission church?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
A little over 2 years, sir.
How many years you need to graduate from seminary?
I'm currently not enrolled. I would need probably about 2.5 years remaining. I attended Westland for 1 year.
All right, Marie Murphy. How art thou?
Wonderful.
All right. And you're pastor in Mount Moriah in Elberton.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
This concludes my second year.
You graduate in December of next year?
Yes, sir.
This class. Sister Neal? How you doing?
Well,
I watched you today. You have smiled all day long. You in the pulpit this morning?
Yes, sir.
Smile all day long. You on the program. And when the Reverend was preaching, you were helping. Now you're pastoring Gordon's Chapel.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a bachelor's degree from Hampton.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about seminary?
What do I think about it?
Is that why, no, seriously, is that why you haven't gone, because of the expense?
Part of it.
Now, let me say this, seminary is expensive. The other reason I love Bishop Hildebrand, I don't think I'd be sitting where I am today. Bishop Hildebrand got appointed to the 1st District in 1976. And I was supposed to go to Turner Seminary in August. He was appointed in June of 1976. And I called him before he moved to the district. And I said, Bishop, I'm supposed to be going to seminary in August. I've been accepted, but I don't have the money. Bishop Hildebrand came to the 1st District, and he started what he called the Ministerial Education Fund. Every late night, an annual conference, he got with the lay organization of the district, the offering on a late night at the annual conference went to the Ministerial Education Fund. Those of us who were in seminary, the 1st District underwrote our expense. And I was the first one to graduate, and they underwrote all of them. I never had to get a loan or anything. Our commitment was we were going to serve the church. One of the best things that ever happened to me. And so I am sensitive. I'm very sensitive about the cost of theological education. And before I leave the 2nd District, that's something I hope to try to do to help those who are going. You know, people don't realize it, but most of the folk, when they graduate from seminary, most of our churches do not pay us adequately. Amen. They go to seminary. And so I think the church ought to try to help in some kind of way. Because I'm very sensitive to the fact that most of our pastors are underpaid. And then when you start pastoring, you're not going to give the best of your service because you're trying to find a way to get out of debt. Yep. To get out of debt. In the 6th District, put in place, we would help those who were in seminary. Some of those students had almost $120,000 of school debt. Their obsession was going to be trying to get out of debt rather than being a good pastor. And so I am sensitive and I'm going to try to do something to help underwrite some of that cost. So I'm sensitive to it. Okay? I'm also sensitive when I was in Georgia. Georgia had a shortage of ministers. And we had some locals, some who had served as much as 12 to 15 years supplying a church. Locals should never be in a church that long. And a lot of them were now like 69 years old. And my last year, all of those who has served as locals for a long time, I got the conference to agree to change their orders from local to itinerant. Amen. The only way we could reward them for their service. And to be frank with you, a lot of those locals served better than a lot of itinerants out there. So I'm looking here between tonight and tomorrow, I'll get with the board chair, the dean and the board. A couple of you I want to see. You know, if you've not started seminary and you have less than 10 years before you become 75, I'm not sure how much it benefit you by making you wait, knowing that you're never gonna be in a financial situation to go to seminary. But you've given your best as a local supplying some of these churches. So I'm going to pray over that tonight. That's also why you evaluate each student separately. You can't do everybody and say, no, each student has to be evaluated differently. So I'll get with the board between now and tomorrow night. See where we are. What's the motion?
All right. The Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidates remain in the fourth year until educational requirements are met: Dina Herbert, Marie Murphy, Kimberly Neal, and that's the.
I apologize. I talked so long I misread Shannon. The recommendation is that you all will remain in the fourth year class. Is that right?
Dina Herbert, Marie Murphy, and Kimberly Neal. Those three.
Okay. And what's the recommendation for?
The Virginia Conference recommends the following candidates be retained in the fourth year class of studies for failure to comply with the board's requirements: Michael Gray and Christina Hayward.
All right.
And
The recommendation is really that all of them remain in the fourth year?
yes. Well, except for two.
Which two?
So we'll go. The Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidates' status be changed from an itinerant deacon to a local deacon from St. John's, Norfolk, be removed from the role of the fourth year class of studies: Marriott Hines Decree. And then the next recommendation, the Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners recommends the following candidate be elected and ordained an itinerant elder in the African Methodist Episcopal Church and a graduation date from Regent University: Robin Hopkins.
All right. The recommendation is that Michael Gray, Deanna Herbert, Marie Murphy, and Kimberly Turner Neal remain in the fourth year class as they complete their academic preparation, and that Marriott Hines Decree be elected and ordained a local deacon, a local elder. Is that right?
She's already itinerant. She's already a deacon.
But she wants to change her status to local, and she's in the fourth year class. So if she's in the fourth year class, changing status from itinerant to local. If she's in the fourth year class, then her recommendation would be that her status be changed from itinerant to local, and that she would be remained a local elder. And
Yes.
Because the locals, they can only be ordained if that local church, that local pastor recommends their ordination. And that Reverend Robin Hopkins would be elected and ordained in our church.
Amen.
Is there a motion? Somebody make a motion to approve?
Swan seconds the motion.
All right, is that the 10 I want to see? All in favor will say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. All right. Yes, sir, Doctor.
I don't say very much. And I'm a proponent of those, everybody being seminary graduate, but I understand that there are some exceptions. And I think in the case of Reverend Michael Gray, maybe Michael Gray and some of the others, I don't know that, but, you know, I just think.
Well, let me go where I think you're going. When I said I'm going to pray over something tonight.
And you should go, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and so since I got all I'm here, we make the motion, but it may be that tomorrow or tonight I will give it to the board, and they will make a supplemental report in the morning.
Thank you, Bishop, and we're going to pray with you also. Thank you.
All the prayer I can give.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. All in favor, did I say, answer aye? Aye. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thank you so much. God bless you all. Continue to press your way.
Bishop, we would like to pause and take time for one personal privilege to recognize and to honor two of our outgoing board members. And we want to present them with, so come on up. The Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners Certificate of Appreciation. This certifies that the Reverend Dr. Aretha Cross has completed 9 years of faithful and excellent service to the Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners, April 30th, 2025. And we
didn't Elder Ma say she was only 21. Isn't that what you said, Elder? She retired early.
the Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners Certificate of Appreciation. This certifies that the Reverend Dr. Edward Scott has completed 35 years of faithful service. The Virginia Annual Conference Board of Examiners. We give both Reverend Dr. Scott and Reverend Dr. Aretha Cross with high commendations for their outstanding work and service to the Virginia Conference Board of Examiners.
Reverend Scott going to be more like he was eager to go.
Bishop, might we have the privilege just to offer a word of thanks. One, I'll start with the Reverend Matthew Shannon, who this is his first year serving as the Secretary of the Board of Examiners, and he has done a phenomenal job. We thank him. And to our chair, the Reverend Andrea Cornett Scott, we want to honor her for her leadership here at the Virginia Annual Conference, and as the Dean of the District Board of Examiners. In both roles, she has served faithfully and well. We honor her in the Virginia Annual Conference. Thank you, Bishop, for the opportunity to serve.
Let me commend the board chair for a wonderful job you've done. I watched you when I met with the board on yesterday, I guess it was, and how you preside and handle things. And you know that some people have to make a cloud of dust in order to make an impact. There are other people who have done their work so well. They don't have to get excited, no whole lot of drama, but they've done their work. It was clear you had done your work. And I want to thank you for a job very well done.
And Bishop, I just want to say thanks to our Yale-trained dean. I was so happy to hand the reins from deanship over to him because I knew that he knew what he was talking about. And he worked so hard, and we're so thankful to have him. And for the wonderful teachers and instructors on the Board of Examiners. We're going to miss Reverend Dr. Cross's work with church administration. And we're going to miss Dr. Scott's involvement. We're talking about narrative and preaching. He was my preaching instructor at Payne Theological Seminary. And we know that just because he thinks he's retiring, he's going to have to drive me to the meetings. So we're going to use him from time to time. And we want to thank you, Bishop, for allowing us to serve in this capacity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And let me say to the secretary, you all have one of the coolest secretaries anyway. And I can tell, how do I put this? He sits back, and I don't think he realizes that I realize it. But he just be watching everything I do. Last night I made a point of sitting in the back. And let me say this, when I sit in the back, I'm just sitting in the back because I'm going to be a worshiper. You know, the bishop ain't always got to be in the pulpit and all that. So I sat on the very last row. And, you know, and when I moved around since I've been here, he just watches. And he's the nicest guy. He said, I like folks who are observant. I said, Brother Secretary, I just want you to do a great job. Amen. Amen. And he looked good against it. He said, I need to get me a mask. You've done a very good job.
Thank you so much, Bishop.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to do? All right, let's give our board a hand. All right, probably moving second, and the entire Board of Examiners report be received. Is there a second? All right, we've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor will say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. The ordination service will be tomorrow night at 7:00 p.m. Bishop Sylvester Scott Dean, the president of the Council of Bishops, and the Bishop of the 12th Episcopal District will be our preacher. All right.